Hi y'all, welcome back to another video with the Brooder Homestead. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what my typical morning looks like when I'm doing all of my homestead chores. It is a must that I have my coffee before I go outside. We have gotten a little fancy with our coffee preference and I've done 3 shots of espresso in the morning. Matthew does 4, but it is everything to us and it is the only fancy thing about our house. So if you look around, for instance, like this shot where I'm showing you my front door, our house is not an Instagram worthy farmhouse or homestead house. We are real deal. And don't get me wrong, I love a clean and orderly home, but a lot of times that kind of stuff has to get put to the side because you're constantly running around trying to catch your tail while taking care of all of these animals, preserving food, building new things, maintaining the outside structure of whatever you have with all these animals. It takes a lot, and so a lot of times sweeping or dusting or painting the front door really gets put on the back burner, and it's a luxury for me at this point to have a clean, put together house. So if you haven't figured it out by now, it has been raining a lot. We live on the coastal Gulf Coast of the USA, and it rains all the time in the summer. So I pretty much live in my muck boots right now. But here I'm just showing you that the first thing I have to do today is fill the milk jugs. This has become a pretty much daily thing that we fill the milk jugs either before or after we milk. It depends on how quick we are to get out and milk the cows before people come to pick up milk. But today I filled the jugs first, and then I am hooking up all of the equipment to get the girls in to get them ready for milking. The dairy cows pretty much know what they're supposed to do, but every now and then I get a rogue dairy cow that tries to get into the stall. We have several cows that are either waiting to get pregnant or are currently dry, meaning they're not in lactation. They're waiting to have a baby or a calf, and so those cows have to go into the back pasture when I'm rotating them from the front to the back in the morning time. So the ones that are currently milking will come in on their own just fine, but every now and then I get, specifically Elsa. Elsa is our oldest cow, and she's the boss lady, and she thinks that she can just do whatever she wants. So she will sneak in and try to get into a stall to eat the food that we put in the little feed troughs for the dairy cows that are in milk. Most of my boys are very helpful. I have 4 boys in total. They're all 2 years apart. So they were 12, 10, 8, and 6, but one of them just had a birthday, so now it's 12, 11, 8, and 6. And they do love to come out and help me in the morning. Every now and then I'll give them a little $1 or $2 to kind of encourage them to keep doing that. And they stay really motivated and want to come out and help me. Specifically these two, little Benny and Eli, they are great little helpers and are learning how to clean and prep the cows before milking. They're not big enough just yet to put the claws on. They are a little heavy. The claw is the contraption you see here in front of me that connects to the cow and pumps the milk out. It is a little heavy, so they can't really hold that yet and hook the cows up for me, but that's okay. I do have a full-length video that goes through the different parts and processes of us cleaning and putting together and assembling our dairy equipment and how we milk the cows and the system that we use for that. I'll try and link it somewhere above, maybe in like a little bubble. I'll have to look at that later, but I will try and link it, and it's pretty good. It's what we've been able to do with what we have and the little amount of knowledge that we were able to get when we first started, there wasn't a lot out there on how to properly clean your equipment when we first started. So we kind of figured things out as we went. We're still figuring things out. So it's a continuous learning process. I will say that the machine that we have from, I think it's pronounced Melasti, we like it okay. We had a machine from them before when we were only milking like 1 or 2 cows, and it lasted us forever and never had any problems. But I think they've changed up a lot of how their stuff is manufactured, so we've had little issues here and there, but nothing super major. After I get through milking the cows and cleaning up all of my equipment and also pouring the milk jugs for the day, I have to go out into the cow pasture and move the meat chickens, the quarters cross chickens. We have made these chicken tractors out of old trampolines. We like to joke and say it's Alabama's state bird because of how many hurricanes we have. People lose them all the time. So we will scrap them and then turn them into these chicken tractors. They're super light, super handy. You can put a great amount of birds in there. In this video, the amount of birds that are in there currently, it's way too much. We did split them because they got too big to have that many in that chicken tractor. So we did split them into 2 separate chicken tractors. We're hoping to come up with a video on how we make these chicken tractors because we do have to make a couple more, so be on the lookout for that. And I am posting weekly updates in the shorts section of the grow out process of these chickens. Before the chickens go out into the pasture, they are raised in this brooder house, I guess you could say. It's an old pump house that we've turned into a brooder house, and currently have 150 chicks in there that I have to check their food and water in daily. And my fig tree is just right outside that chicken brooder house, so I like to check it in between my chores because it is fig season and there is so many. After that, I will then go and collect eggs. This was my 3rd son's job because he broke something in Hobby Lobby and he was put on probation. But he was gone that day. He went to his grandmother's house, so I went in and started collecting the eggs. And because it is so hot here, we tend to have a lot of broody hens. When they get warm, chickens tend to want to brood, and so it's really hard to get them out of being broody, so we just let them be broody and just collect the eggs daily underneath them so they don't incubate. But fun fact, also because it's so hot here, our eggs last year incubated in our barn where people would go to pick up their eggs, and I had so many customers tell me that they had baby chickens in their eggs because they were incubating in the barn. Isn't that ridiculous? I was so embarrassed. I had to replace so many eggs because of it, and because of it, we started putting our eggs in a wine cooler, so it stays at like 65 degrees, which is countertop temp anyway. Well, it's a little cooler, but you get the idea. So that when people take their eggs, they can leave them out on the counter if they want to, because they are unwashed. We leave the bloom on. But if they don't, then they can always just wash them and throw them in the refrigerator. But this is our setup. It's a little chaotic, much like everything else in my life right now, where people have come and returned egg crates and such. But you could see the wine cooler there that holds all of our eggs. I just keep them in there, and it's right next to our milk fridge. this is pretty much the extent of my homestead chores right now at this moment. Usually also like in the spring or early summer, we would also be picking the vegetables. Typically before we milk the cows, we want to try and get it at the coolest part of the day. But it's July, and so all of our stuff is toast. We do get a very large growing season here in the South Gulf Coast anyway, so we're very fortunate for that, and we should be starting to plant again in the next couple of weeks. I'm super excited about that. But after I get through with my chores, I like to put my boots upside down. That way rain doesn't get inside of them and they stay outside instead of bringing all that muck in my house. Not that it would really matter at this point, but it's fine. So when I come in after the chores, I'll finish up a few other things. Definitely wash my hands first, and then we'll start the process of preparing lunch. The only person I had in the house with me this day was my second son, who had just had his birthday and turned 11. So he helped me do lunch. That's one of his chores right now. He gave up scooping out the stalls for making lunch, and I'm totally fine with that. If that's what he wants to do, that will save me time. And I'm already hot and sweaty outside anyway. I was just showing him how to chop up the lettuce a little finer. He loves a salad, and we love making our own salad dressing to go with a salad. It tastes so much better, and it's way more cost efficient. So you just see me here making that and finishing up our lunch. We do also have our own bees here on the farm, but lately we're terrible beekeepers. We really are. So a friend of mine right down the road, she owns Old Moon Ranch, and her husband are fantastic beekeepers, and they have the best tasting honey. So I added that to our Italian dressing today to put on our salad. Thank you so much for following me around today while I did all of my chores, and hopefully you get a little comfort and peace in seeing how a real homestead farm looks like. It's not pretty, it's not Instagram worthy, but guess what? It works and it's functional for what we need. But thank you so much for following me today, and if you would, like and subscribe for more homestead videos. Bye guys.